Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Vibrant Vine and our variety show.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
It's pretty hot.
It's pretty
actually.
hot. Well, I admit it's cool because the breeze is coming.
It is. We've got high temperatures today, but we got a great show lined up and a little bit of a Celtic theme.
That's right. In honor of the upcoming Scottish Festival in Penticton, we're going to have all kinds of Scottish and Irish and Celtic related things on the show today. We've got some folk dancing, we've got some bagpipes, we've got Cod Gone Wild. We might even break out the caber toss.
That might happen. And we also have, Creekside Theatre here is doing a performance.
That's right. We've got that. We've also got OSIF,
yeah.
right? Some film festival stuff.
And Doug is kind of a secret Scotsman because one time I made him film our whole show, do the voiceovers with the Scottish accent. So can we get a little taste of that?
But we decided not to do that for today's show because we weren't sure how the audio would go if we did that. If you could all understand me or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
I'm
the end
sorry,
of
I
this
was in Scotland
question.
for like a week earlier this year, so I'm stuck. All right, so are you ready for a little bit of good old-fashioned melodrama? Can it? Now you got it. Can you boo? Can you hiss? Can you cheer? All right, that's exactly what you're going to do because we've got the Creekside Players here with EGAD, the Women in White, a good melodrama.
Sir Percival Glyde?
Laura, whatever is the matter?
Shall I tell him? Shall I reveal all? Yes! Oh, Walter, destiny has dealt us a cruel hand.
What do you mean?
Many years ago, when I was but a young child, my father made me promise on his deathbed that I'd marry Sir Percival.
Can this be?
I've never liked nor trusted the man, and I fear that if Uncle Frederick forces me to marry, I shall wither on the vine like a frostbitten rosebud.
I am desolated.
Oh, Walter.
Oh, Laura.
Sir Percival Glyde.
How charming you look today, Marion, my dear.
He has a roving eye.
2 of them.
There you are, Laura.
And there you are, Sir Percival.
Our wedding day draws near.
Horrors.
You've met my drawing master, Mr. Hartright.
That pleasure has been denied me. A drawing master, eh? Well. Takes all kinds.
Is that an insult, Sir Percival?
Only if you choose to take it as such.
Sir, you are no gentleman.
Sir, unlike you, I'm a real gentleman. I would never strike a lady. With my hat on.
Surely, Sir Percival, you will not hold me to this deathbed promise I made my late and dearly departed papa.
You will need a man of mature years and experience to take care of you and watch over you. Your father knew what he was doing, and being the dutiful daughter that you are, you would not go back on such a promise.
Sir, I am a dutiful daughter, but I'm also a woman.
Well, how about that? Wasn't that fun? Just
Yeah,
a little
good job,
hint
guys.
of EGAD, Women in White from Creekside Players. Now we got Kelsey Goudreau from Creekside Players. Why do a melodrama? It looks like it would be a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Yes, we have done many different kinds of shows, and we've actually done a melodrama before with the Creekside Players, and it was a lot of fun, and we just wanted to bring that back, so we're doing it again.
So is this an original, or is this one that you found in the live?
No, this is one we found. This is
really?
actually an adaptation of a book, also called The Woman in White, and but it's the book is actually very, very dramatic and very dark. So the playwright took it and turned it around and made it a comedy.
And what can a modern audience kind of get from a melodrama?
An old-fashioned experience with backdrops and musical accompaniment, and lots of energy and participation is highly encouraged.
Well, even being in the audience and being able to be a part of it, you feel like you're part of the play.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So, good job, you guys.
Yeah, that was great. You guys having fun with it?
Yeah. Do you like being booed at?
Of course.
I mean, I'm used to it, but... So, does it take any particular acting training? Like, do you have to like get them into a different state of mind?
Yes. Actually, we started rehearsals with a bit of a warm up. Sometimes we do just physical warm ups, and sometimes we do melodramatic warm ups, which involve doing hyper dramatized actions. So
So what would that look like?
Prove
well,
it.
okay. Well, okay. So guys, do you want to exemplify heartache?
Heartache. Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. All right.
Are we
So
doing,
something
are
like
we
that.
doing it right?
That's good.
So, like,
Yeah.
do, like,
So the classic gestures for heartache or upset is a hand on the forehead. So this is generally for the ladies.
Oh,
A hand on the
you
forehead.
did that really good though, Doug. It's natural.
Thank you. Thank you.
You just went right for it.
Or a hand on the chest.
Okay.
And it's a big flourish, so it's huge dramatic event. Just a dramatic emotion.
Okay, a dramatic motion.
Yes.
Hand on the forehead. Okay,
Yeah.
good. What about being a villain? What about being a villain? What?
Mustaches are key.
Well, I was gonna say who would make a better villain, me or Lisa, but I think I might have an edge in the mustache department.
Do you? I don't see a mustache.
I could grow one faster than you.
I've never seen any facial hair on you, Doug, but nice try. So what makes a good villain?
Oh, being sneaky, creepy, slinky, being a bit greasy.
Are you any of those in real life?
I hope not.
It's called acting, Lisa. It's called acting. So tell us about Women in White, when it's coming up, and where people can come and see the show.
So we are at the Creekside Theatre in Winfield from July 10th, 11th, 17th, and 18th. We do evening shows all those nights, and then we have matinee shows on the 17th the 11th and 18th.
Saturdays.
Saturdays, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so if people want to get tickets?
Yes, people can get tickets at the Creekside Theatre website. I don't have the phone number.
That's all right. We'll
It's
put it on
right
the screen.
here.
We'll find it.
Here it is.
We'll find it. We'll look it up. Put it up there later.
Okay.
Awesome.
And yeah, you can get reservations by the phone or that's about it.
And that's just like that. Just that easy.
Or
Come on
they'll
out.
sell tickets at the door as well.
And come on out for a good old-fashioned Creekside Theater is a fantastic place. The Creekside Players are a great bunch, and it sounds like a show you're just not going to want to miss because you get to get involved. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
out.
you so much.
Thank you.
Now let's finish off and see who has a better evil face.
Oh.
So like,
I could do a good evil laugh.
do you get booze? Any booze?
No.
Okay, do it one more time. Okay.
I don't think you really went for
I
it.
think I was a vampire. I felt like Dracula.
Yeah.
Was that Dracula-ish?
Yeah.
No.
Why don't you just do what you normally do when you're telling me what to do backstage?
Get backstage, Doug.
See, there you go. There's the
Okay,
villain.
And this is why we won't quit our day job. So stay tuned. Next up, OSIF.
All right, well, from turn of the century style of entertainment to the next century kind of entertainment, we got Mark Nadeau from Vision Effects, and you're doing like 3D graphics and all that, animation and those kind of things.
Yeah, exactly. What I noticed was in the area there's a lot of filmmaking, there's a lot of animation, but there's no sort of marriage between the two. So back in Toronto, I used to do a whole bunch of different contracts, working independent movies and the like. So I decided that maybe I should take my expertise, take a run at it myself, start my business, and just try to give Kelowna and give the Okanagan that extra bit of technical filmmaking that isn't really here yet. So I thought I would sort of jumpstart and try to do my own thing here.
Because there's a lot of independent filmmakers, there's a lot of big films that have come through the valley, but you're right, there really isn't a full-size sort of special effects production house.
Exactly, yeah, and that's sort of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to start that up, and it's been an exciting ride so far. Going through. Getting help starting my business. Not everybody who's creative is business oriented or inclined. So
Yes, I think I know something about that.
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah, so it's been fun doing things on the business side of things, and now ramping up, getting the website ready, getting the demo reel ready, and just showing what different sort of things that I'm trying to bring to independent film here, and also bigger productions as well, because there's actually more incentive here in the Okanagan. I think it's roughly 17% bigger tax credit for bigger films that come out this way. So if in the future bigger films are coming here, why not create more jobs, help the local economy, and sort of just do things that they do in Vancouver, but also here in Kelowna on
Create
a
that
slightly
environment.
exactly smaller
Right.
scale, but still help to sort of jumpstart the film community here a
Right.
bit more, right? So,
And some ways that it's been jump started is having big films like you said you worked on Go With Me,
Yeah.
Sir Anthony Hopkins
Yeah.
and Julia Stiles. How was that?
that was actually a lot of fun. At some point, I was sort of kind of giving up on the whole thing because it had been, layoff after layoff after layoff, and then I worked on set, and it sort of got my passion back, and I got inspired, and I felt like I can't give up on this. This is so much fun. It's a lot of work, but at the same time, it's what what I went to school for, what I started my career in, and it was a lot of fun getting back into it, actually.
What was it like being on a part of a movie like that? Like what was the behind the scenes kind of stuff?
It was funny because we took just how creative they were with their locations and their shots, and we took in downtown Vernon, there's this old storage place, and they had transformed it into a mill, to a wood mill. So they brought in dirt, they put dirt on the pavement, they brought in fake trees, they did everything they could to make things look as real as possible, and I thought that was really special that they could just sort of have this vision, and with all these different people and locals and people from out of the country, and just sort of marriage it all together and just make an awesome production.
When it's just creating that kind of vibe here in the Okanagan, and showing big time people in the movie scene how beautiful it is here. People think we're in we have polar bears as pets, and we're living in igloos still. Like in LA, they're like,
Not
oh,
today.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not today. This is how hot it is. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's just it, right? Like there's a lot of films going on in Vancouver, but it's always, it's most of the time is overcast, or you're looking at, shooting around rain schedules, right? But it was funny when they came here, we actually got a huge dump of snow, and they weren't expecting that. So we had some outdoor shots at a farmhouse, and we actually had to melt the snow. We had to remove the snow from the roof, and that was right in that cold spell in November, in late November.
That.
We had that little cold spell, and then all of a sudden we had all this snow, and all the shots before there was no snow. And now all of a sudden we have snow. So they had called the fire department.
Continuity.
It was nuts. They had fire engines. They're actually they had a bit of antifreeze mixed in with the water, and they were spraying the snow to get it to melt. It was nuts.
Gotta do what you gotta do,
exactly.
right?
We got it done. The shots looked great, and yeah, that was just part of the challenge, right?
Now we're talking about the local film scene, and there is a pretty vibrant local film scene. The Okanagan Society of Independent Filmmakers is a big part of that. You guys have some upcoming
film challenge
festival thing.
Well, we've been around for a while, and OSIF helps to try to jumpstart the film community, whether it be experienced filmmakers or people just getting into it. And so the Script to Screen event, it's all online on our website. You can fill out the application. It's simply give an idea of your production schedule. So where are you planning to shoot? How many people do you need? What are your expenses going to be, and that sort of thing. And the nice thing is that we're going to choose 5 finalists. So we need applications in by July 31st.
July 31st.
July 31st, applications in. And we're going to take a look at them all, pick from the top 5. So we'll have the OSIF Board of Directors and a panel of industry professionals, and we're going to take a look at all the applications and have a pitch session, the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
And exactly. Review the scripts, review the production schedule, and take a look at any sort of problems that might come up. And the finalist will get picked, and the finalist will win $500 for production expenses and up to $2,500 in gear rentals.
Wow.
Sign
This
us
is going to
up.
be exciting. I mean, you can see the cool. I've been at the Horror Fest for a few years now, watching the short horror films that they make around Halloween time. There's lots of other great movies that I can see. The really talented bunch. This is going to be an awesome opportunity to make some great local film.
Well, exactly, and that's the whole thing, is that we sort of planned the first Script to Screen right around the time for Horror Fest, right?
Nice.
So if people are going to make another type of genre of film, that's totally fine. We're still going to pick the best film, but if you happen to have a really great idea for a short film that's horror related, then of course it's going to be screened at the Horror Fest, which should normally be around Halloween. We haven't set an exact date.
Yeah.
But we want to have it so that the most amount of people will come out.
Yeah.
And support local film, watch the productions that are being made locally, and have a great time.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully we can keep tabs on this, and as the
I'm going to sign up.
get
I'm not
ready
just
for-
going to keep tabs. I'm signing
well,
up.
that's what I'm saying, Rex. I have a script in mind right now. I'll talk to you about that as soon as we're off.
I've
there,
been
Mark.
writing it in my head the whole time you've been talking.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Website right here. See
You gonna
that?
put it there? You
We're
gonna
gonna
put it
play
there?
it. We're gonna have
can
a
you put it-
magical effect that's just gonna sort of generate
In
it.
3D spinner thing.
Awesome. All right, coming up, story in a bottle. We've got Planet B here. They're a meadery. So each week we do a segment called Story in a Bottle, highlighting a different winery, brewery, distillery, cidery, and this week, a meadery.
A meadery.
I didn't even know that word existed until I talked to Claudette at the farmer's market. This is Claudette Martin of Planet B. And tell us a bit about your meadery.
Absolutely. Well, the meadery at Planet B, it's such a fun, must-see attraction in Vernon where bees are our passion, and we get to teach people about bees, not just in the sense of being terrific pollinators, but for all the wonderful things that they do. They produce honey, bee pollen, propolis, royal jelly. We get all these wonderful benefits from them, and we get to make mead, and mead is just such a fantastic drink. It's a lot of fun for us right now.
When I saw on your website, I was going through all the bee facts, and I had bees growing up, but I didn't know that a honeybee would travel for 1 teaspoon of honey, their whole life is spent finding that 1 teaspoon of honey.
Yeah, absolutely. Worker bees, which are 96% female, really only live about 6 weeks long, and they literally work themselves to death. So it's really up to us to get the benefits from all of that work that they're doing, for sure.
So appreciate your honey.
Absolutely.
So I don't think I've ever tasted honey wine, and I can't, but Doug's going to be my taster.
I'm gonna stand in here.
But what's the story behind you guys? I know that you guys are the largest observatory for bees in Western Canada.
In the region, yeah, we are. And in 2005, our owner, Ed Noack, decided that it was time to try something a little bit different with our honey, and he decided to expand into mead and created the meadery. So mead is really enjoying a new popularity right now. It evokes such wonderful historic images. You think about King Arthur and Vikings and Druids and even Game of Thrones, and we're starting to think, oh yeah, we're connecting those images with mead, which is in fact a very ancient drink made from fermented honey and water. But it tastes so much better than that now, and we get to make so many cool flavors and different styles with it, and that's what we're doing up at Planet B.
Okay, and Doug, have you had mead before?
I've had mead before. Some friends of mine actually made mead, and the first stuff I ever had was like shockingly sweet and like made your teeth hurt. And and then I had some good mead, and it was so fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to this.
The fun part for me in working with the mead is everybody coming up and saying to me, oh yeah, I remember mead from 30 years ago in these stone crocks, and exactly, it was super sweet and gloopy. And ours isn't like that at all. And in fact, I did bring some samples with me, and I would love to give you a couple of samples so that you can see.
All right, let's see
and
what we
tell
got
us
here.
exactly what we're dealing with. So we're going to start with our Okanagan Delight. This was one of the first meads that we made, and this is just regular mead. It's unflavored, so this is just fermented honey and water, and you'll see it's quite light. It's not syrupy. And we actually work fairly hard to keep the sweetness level a little bit down, because we find that the market's not really looking for super sweet drinks. We do.
Try it now?
Yeah, please do. Drum roll.
I got one hand.
Yeah, that's not the sugary sweet. It's got a really nice aftertaste.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? It's fairly clean. It's pretty light and
Almost
refreshing.
like clover on the back end.
Well, that's that honey that's coming out in the finish, right? So it's really quite interesting.
And you also have a chocolate pairing here. I'm noticing because, of course, I'm noticing the chocolate. I'm noticing it's melting. So, Doug, why don't you try a little bit with
Which one does the chocolate
For
go
sure. The chocolate goes fantastic with our blushing cherry, which is a mead that you'll see starts with a hint of sweet, and then we'll finish with some tartness, and that's because of the sour cherries from Oyama that we include in there.
Oh, wow.
Just take one piece, Doug. I'll eat the rest.
There you go. And the chocolate comes from our buddies in Armstrong at Chocoliro.
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 Mmm.
Oh, good dark chocolate.
Yeah.
And And it's really good. It's got a really nice
I mean,
finish.
cherries and chocolate. How good is that, right? It's
That's
never
really
a bad
awesome.
thing.
It's
No.
very good.
Right?
Anything in chocolate.
Exactly.
So lots of times with wineries, cideries, breweries, distilleries, now meaderies,
Yep.
there's something unique or quirky about the business.
So, we get a lot of questions asked about how is mead made, what is it compared to wine? And the nice thing for us about mead, I mean, we don't have a ton of square footage, so it's not like we have these 500-gallon vats sitting around anywhere. So we just produce this very simply in our back rooms. It's just our regular staff. We're sort of doing this, and it's roughly a 10 to 11 week process. Bing, bang, boom, you're sort of done. But you do have to practice with the recipes a little bit. You start off when doing these kinds of processes, and you kind of get some pretty manky batches when you're first starting. And we certainly went through a process like that as well. The good news is that some of our meads are now award-winning, but it generally doesn't start out that way.
Anybody get stung?
Oh, well, being stung with beekeepers is par for the course. That's something that happens. The trick, if you get stung by a bee, when they insert their stinger into your skin, the stingers are barbed.
Don't pull it out.
The trick is to try and flick it out sideways. Quite often what we do when we try to pull it out, you're actually squishing the venom sac and you're doing yourself more harm than good. So you're trying to flick that out sideways, and that way you'll get less venom inside there.
I'm just having pictures of my dad when he decided to be a beekeeper for a couple years, coming on in his big bee suit.
Yeah,
But he
absolutely.
didn't seal the wrist part.
Oh.
So the bees were going. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
not a good situation.
That happens, and that's part of the learning process too. There's always something that's not covered, or maybe you just have an especially angry queen. That happens too.
Yeah.
Those queens get ornery at times.
Well,
So
the queen bee. Awesome. So how can people find you guys?
you can find us on web at www.planetb.com. You can also find us in Vernon. Just follow the highway signs on 97, which will take you straight there. And hopefully you can like us on Facebook and tell us what your favorite mead is.
Well,
I like
Doug,
the cherry one so far. That's my favorite.
Perfect.
let me smell it. That smells really good.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks
you guys are
for
also
having
at
us.
the farmers market.
We're at the farmers markets here in Kelowna and on Thursdays in Vernon.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Oh, how about that? Our own Piper, Wayne McDougall, and Emily McDonald, all the way here from Penticton.
Yeah, far journey.
It was great to have us on the show. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm trying to be okay. I have Doug's shirt on. My dress is underneath, and I have.
We're gonna fix something.
I have your kilt.
We're just gonna fix one thing.
See, I don't know anything. Okay, now I'm Scottish.
There we go. It's official now.
I'm Scottish.
Wayne is one of our camera guys, editors, producers with us at Shaw TV, and been a big part of community programming in Penticton for like over 30 years.
Yep, over 3 decades, you bet.
And recently, you got in touch with your Scottish heritage and picked up the bagpipes.
Yeah, it was when I turned 50, and I thought, piping is something else that somebody else does. But then I thought, we've been seeing in parades forever, watching the pipe band goes by, and then I started taking lessons, and then off I go.
Of course, you are a McDougall, so it comes naturally to you, right?
McDougall.
And I guess that's part of it is kind of discovering my heritage, and then doing something that becomes part of that. So learning the music and some of the culture.
And you've also been a part of getting the Penticton Scottish Festival up and running.
Yeah, formerly the Highland Games, and a lot of people might be familiar with a Highland Games and what that means. And so at Scottish Festival in Penticton, we've got all kinds of Celtic events, heavy events. We've got some music, culture. It's really a fun thing.
And what about it drew you to it? Like, what about the whole Scottish heritage?
Well, I think it's like when you hear the music and you've got this big band right in front of you, and it's really loud, and you can feel it, and you see the little kids that are Highland dancing, and it's something that everyone can participate in and be part of their culture. It's really, really cool.
I always think of Victoria. Whenever you go to Victoria on the coast, you hear the bagpipes, and that whole vibe. It's just such a cool vibe.
We've been doing the Highland Games in Victoria 150 years.
Wow.
And so it's been something like 3 decades for us here.
And Emily, You've been dancing for some time.
I've been dancing for 17 years now.
Wow.
But not right now. She's not.
Not
she's
right
no
now.
dancing for her. We're talking backstage. Tell
I
them
took
what
my
you.
boot off, but I ruptured my Achilles tendon dancing about 3 months ago.
And when she said she ruptured it, she didn't just leave it at that. She told me that. Tell them what you told me earlier in the tent.
I thought I put a hole in the floor
Because
it sounded like wood breaking.
everyone in the room heard it happen. That is horrible. Come on a little bit closer. I don't bite, I promise.
That's why you got to be careful when you're dancing with swords, apparently, right?
Funny thing, I was doing the sword.
Yeah, I knew that was dangerous. They kept saying it's not dangerous.
Get those off the stage. So what got you into the whole dancing?
I grew up in Merritt, so small town, not much available, and my ballet teacher moved away. So
there you go.
So I'm sitting there going, well, I want to do something. I was 9 years old, and my dad took me to a Robbie Burns celebration. So Robbie Burns is January 25th, and he's a famous poet, and we celebrate his birthday every year. And so I saw the dancers and went home and started dancing around. So the next September, I was found in the newspaper, I want to join Highland Dancing, found lessons, so got into it.
And tell me what's happened since then.
Since then, I've competed. I'm in the premier level of competing. So I dance against world champions.
Have you traveled far with it?
I have. I've traveled to all across Canada and down into the States a little bit.
Wow.
I want to go to Scotland. I haven't made it there yet.
You have to now.
Yeah, I have to. Well, I have
Part
my
of
own
the-
studio now, so we have to do a studio trip.
Maybe we can all go together, like a road trip.
Yeah, that works.
We'd have to learn to play the bagpipes first.
Yes.
Or dance.
Or dance.
Or caber toss.
Or caber toss. We're going to try our hands at all of those coming up on the show, I think. I'm not actually going to try and play the bagpipes because I've done that on TV before, and all that really happens is my face turns purple and a really squeaky, awful noise comes out. But we do have chanters here, right?
Yep.
Oh.
Start off with a chanter.
Okay, that I can maybe try.
So this is the tune part of the bagpipe, right?
This is the reed. It's a reed instrument, so there's a little reed in there, and it's finger kind of like when you're in grade 4 elementary
recorder,
school,
right?
and the recorder. And I'm thinking, wow, but the fingers are a little different, but essentially the same. You kind of fiddle them a little bit more. And if you blow too hard,
it squeaks.
It does. She's doing better than I am. This is great. This is great. Yes, you could do that. And
I was trying to play Happy Birthday.
Ah, there's a moose coming. There's a moose coming.
I was trying to play Happy
you better
Birthday
change
to
the tune.
Steve. Is in the audience. It's his birthday, and I was trying to do a little homage to his birthday. That was pretty close.
That was very close.
How's my sweat mustache, Wayne?
It is hot, but it's surprising how the wool of the kilts in the summer or the winter, Remembrance Day, no problem. This is warm. In the summer, it's actually kind of cool.
Well, your material is a little different than mine.
Yours is lighter.
What'd you do to me, girl?
Sorry. Well, normally dance kilts are lighter than piping kilts, but they're a lighter weight wool. Yeah. But
And
ours
often
are
people
pretty
don't
heavy.
wear their other clothes underneath them. So
It
the big festival is coming up. You guys gave it a little hint last year, or the year before, and now this year it's in full bloom, right?
Yeah, we've got pipe bands, activities for the kids, Irish dancing, Scottish dancing. Emily's
We've got a full Highland dance competition this year.
Wow.
We've got over 120 registered so far.
We got some Irish dancers coming up on this show today, and you're also going to show us. You're going to teach us some dance.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Highland Fling, part of it at least.
And is there anything that we should know still about the Scottish Festival?
There's athletic events, the caber toss, some of the events you can participate in. The mass fling, there's it's like you spend the day. There's this big Celtic ceilidh with a great group called Cod Gone Wild.
I've never heard of them. Who are they? They're coming up soon too.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're going to be good. So
Everything gets going at 8 in the morning with the Highland dance competition, and the piping and drumming solo competitions start at 8:30, and then everything else kind of goes on from there. So it's a bright and early morning, and
Right
it'll
across
go
the street
on.
from my house in
Yep.
Penticton. It's going to be fantastic.
You just told
Kings Park.
everyone where you live.
yeah, it's always the first Saturday in July. So this year it's July 4.
Perfect. All right, so we've got Emily over here, and now part of the Scottish festival is a big
It's a masked fling.
a participation event, a masked fling. That doesn't mean you're going to throw things, right?
No, it does not. It means everyone can participate and do a Highland fling.
Of course, because everybody knows how to Highland fling, right?
Yeah, so everyone from the little 4-year-olds up to, I think our oldest competitor is about 32. Will be
That
all
old, eh? 32. All right, so you're going to give us a,
I'll give you a quick lesson.
even with your broken leg.
Yes, I can't jump on my left foot, so you guys have to jump.
Okay.
Hands out, thumbs in,
Thumbs in.
make a fist, glue them on your hips. Heels together, toes apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're gonna bow for 3 counts and stand up for 3 counts and then go up on your toes, keeping your heels together.
Okay, sure I am.
Straight legs. So it's always opposite arm to foot.
All right.
So if we're putting this foot to the side, this arm goes up. And it doesn't just go up, whatever. So if we put our hand out, our middle finger goes up and we touch to the first joint with our thumb. So you're gonna jump, point to the side, jump, take your foot behind, underneath your
behind.
knee, and then jump, bring it to the front.
Okay, so.
So
Okay,
1, 2,
Wayne McDougall,
3.
get over here. Come on, Wayne. Show us how it's done.
Okay.
I lost you on there's the middle finger and the...
So middle finger and first joint. Sit up way high. There you go.
Out, behind, in front, behind.
Change.
Have-
Out, behind,
Oh, man.
in front, behind. Are we there? 6, 7, 8, bow, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up on toes,
So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I hope you heal nicely.
Yes, I'm getting there. I'm working my way through it, I guess. 3 months in since it happened, so started physio and getting back to normal.
Well, get some ice, girl, and get that foot elevated.
Thank you. I'll put
right.
my boot back on.
Yeah, put your boot back on. And Wayne, now it's you're gonna teach us something.
I'm going to teach you the heavy events. One of the heavy events.
Okay, and I'm gonna make Doug talk in Scottish the whole time that we do this.
The caber toss.
The cable toss.
The caber toss.
Yes. And what is that? What is that?
What's a caber? It's basically like a telephone pole. And Doug, there's a secret story about how they fought the English with a caber.
I feel like someone's gonna get impaled here.
I thought it was how they got across the creeks. You'd take the big, and then, and you throw it and across the creek.
So I think in the old days they had, well, what have you got lying around? You've got your big logs, you've got stones,
Broom.
and you throw them, and it becomes an athletic event. So we're going to have that you often see that at a Highland Games or a Scottish festival kind of thing. So we're going to give it a try, except it's not a real caber. It's actually the kids' caber toss that we're gonna.
Kids caber.
Yeah, we'll start at the kids level.
What do you think we are, Wayne? Wow, well, that's pretty big.
So a caber, a big pole, it's usually made of wood. It's very heavy. In this case, it's the End of the Roll sponsors this. It's Carpet Tubes, and it's a kids event. But why don't we start there? And it's a lot of fun. And you could be Scottish for a day.
All right, so let's see how you throw that caber there, mate. So the heavy end is up at the top. Slide your hands down the pole, and you give it a lift. Get the balance right. Work your fingers down to the bottom of the caber. Then lean into it so the weight starts to go forward. Bend and throw. The idea, an almost perfect throw. The idea is to get it to land as if this was a clock. You want it to go right at 12 o'clock from where you were. The judge goes behind, and that was very well done, Wayne.
Can we get? Would you like to give it a go,
I
lad?
think Lisa's up.
Lisa's going to give it a go. So the caber weighs about 100 pounds. Is made of oak. Oh. So Doug Brown is now lifting the kid's caber onto his shoulder, sliding down, watching out for slivers. You pick up the caber without the English seeing you do this, because you're going to be leaning it against the castle wall and shimmying up to get the English. Grabbing the caber. Oh, balance, Doug, balance. Forward. And, oh, it's a perfect 12 o'clock, Doug. You've done it. It's a gold medal caber, Doug.
So each week we do a Global Adventure Challenge. Global Adventure Center in Kelowna, or your GAC, finds different adventure companies throughout the Okanagan and brings them right here to us at the Vibrant Vine. And this week we have Silverado Socrates.
Hello.
And who's this?
This is Prince.
She brought her dog.
I also brought Baby Guinness and Justice and the whole gang and the poster over there. Oh.
There we go. You're from Mandy and Me, as well as some farm tours.
Yeah, Pedersen Supernatural Horse and Farm Tour. So again, the Prince is a big part of this, and so is Baby Guinness. So I'm really thankful to you guys and Global for letting me introduce the gang.
Well, tell us a little bit about your business so we can come out and visit it.
Okay. Well, I've been doing Mandy Me for over 20 years now, and I've basically been doing the farm tour after is just for fun. So the horses all do tricks for treats.
So does Doug.
Oh, there you go.
Depends on the treat.
Now, Prince, for example, back in '96, I taught him to sit. Look at him. Isn't he a well-trained dog?
Still
sitting. This was a real dog at one point.
Do you want to hear the story about Prince?
I would love to hear the story
Tell
about
us all about Prince.
Well, I bought him, I think, for $100 from a guy that had kept him in his truck or on a chain. Right? That's not so cool. So first thing I did, guess, I let him go. And he went with me everywhere except for when I wanted to go for a car ride. So I was going, back in the day, I was trying to make a comeback with my running, and I was going to Vancouver, and I asked him to come with me. He didn't want to jump in, so I left him. Well, when I got back, couldn't find him. I thought he might be running with the coyotes. It turns out, well, a neighbor found him in a ditch 2 weeks later with a bullet hole. And I was pretty choked. I was pretty choked. So.
Well, now he gets to go on car rides with you everywhere.
He could. He could. Basically, he guards the ranch.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about the ranch.
How many horses do you have out there, and what kind of rides do you offer?
Well, again, this is part of the Supernatural Horse and Farm Tours, is because I figure I've had over 70 or 80 horses over my life, and I want to tell the stories of them. They're such a big part. For example, Sonny Boy, he used to get 5. He was over 40 when he passed, and I started doing posters. He was in the middle of that one. But right now we have 14, and there's a number of them buried there. And again, that's part of the tour, like Mandy, the Mandy of Mandy Me, the center of this poster.
Right.
Is that the supernatural part? So
yeah, there's some really neat stories.
Okay.
Mandy is in there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. All these guys are amazing characters, and we have a lot of fun. So I've got some stickers that our bunny, Baby Guinness, is here, and Logan is.
We got a bunny in the audience coming around.
There's a bunny in the audience.
Gotta find the bunny.
It's gonna be touring around.
And
let's see.
She's going to be passing out these stickers too.
Oh.
So Moonlight was born at the stables.
Okay.
And that's a picture of her bucking. So we're working on this idea the buck starts here. Now, again, part of the supernatural part is we had a horse named Buck who passed, and he's buried at the foot of the property. And we'll, we're all going to pass on sometime, and including Mrs. Pedersen. That's where I got the name. And this is ultimately where the songs and stories come in. Is she was an incredible lady and amazing. She would tell me stories of the wild horses that used to live there and all sorts of things. And the neighbors and I would all talk about wanting to record those stories. I like to make things audience participatory if I can.
Yeah.
And the chorus is repeated quite a few times. I think you're going to catch on the first time we do it. But I've got a little bit of a prize for whoever joins in the chorus and perhaps is singing the best, loudest, not necessarily the best, but... My Grandma Pedersen, she once said to me, there were horses in Rose Valley running wild and free. I retired my horse to the Kelowna side of the lake. In the spring, he was with the wild ones. He must have swum across the lake. It's all about the peace, no troubles. It's all about the peace, no trouble. It's all about the peace, no troubles. It's all about the peace. Now, Eddie Sable liked to rodeo and horse around, but his wife did not like to live so far away from town. So he opened up the gate and has 16 horses to go free, and that is why there was a wild herd in Rose Valley. It's all about the peace, no troubles. It's all about the peace, no troubles. It's all about the peace, no troubles. It's all about the peace. Now, the Magic Peace Park is one of the past blended with the present and future in a model that will last. From Fur Brigade Trail to a forever after kind of place, that's F-U-R, forever after kind of place, to honor and help the pets, distressing us in the crazy human race. It's all about the peace, no troubles. It's all about the peace, no troubles. It's all about the peace, no troubles. It's all about the peace,
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming. And up next, we have some more entertainment for you, so stay tuned.
Well, continuing our Celtic theme, we're now going to cross the Irish Sea over to Ireland, and wow, these guys look fantastic. We've got the Blakey Irish Dance Troupe here, and Janice Blakey, you've been doing this for a little while.
In the Okanagan, we've been here for 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you've got schools all up and down the valley now.
Right. We're crossed from Penticton, West Kelowna, Kelowna, and Vernon. Yeah.
So there's a huge interest in this, right?
Yeah. It's really good. You don't even have to be Irish anymore to Irish dance.
Really?
Yeah.
How many people here are Irish, of any kind of Irish? You are?
But I think you can become Irish by osmosis, right?
Well, on March 17th for St. Patrick's Day, everybody's Irish.
Everybody's
That's
Irish.
right. That's very true.
I was in Dublin on St. Patrick's Day this year, and there was every kind of accent in the world was gathered down there in downtown Dublin, and they were all Irish. They all have I noticed different kinds of shoes and different costumes. So there's a variety of dances that they're going to do, right?
We're going to demonstrate both soft shoe today and hard shoe. All in one number. And of course, Dante in the front is wearing the fancy boys' shoes, so they're kind of a crossover of soft and hard together.
Right.
So he'll be demonstrating that today too.
Okay, well, you're a little bit outnumbered here. A lot of girls.
Yeah.
And what got you into the dancing?
My
There's a
mom
lot of
taught
girls.
jazz, and then I just came up. I'm like, "Can I do Irish dance?" And she's like, "Sure."
It was your idea.
Yeah.
Awesome. And what got you into it?
My cousins, I went to their house when I was about 4 years old, and they started dancing on their front lawn, and I decided that I wanted to Irish dance. So, yeah.
My grandma's straight from Dublin, Ireland, and she kept telling my mom, "You gotta watch the river dance," and she thought it was something different, and then once we watched it, me and my older sister went right into it.
Yeah? And we got another little one, 8 years old, right?
Yeah.
And what got you into it?
My sisters, they wanted me to go into it.
Oh, you guys are sisters.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
How about you?
I didn't like ballet, so my mom put me in Irish dance.
You guys are ready to roll? Yeah. They're like, yeah, I'm really hot. It's like almost 40 out right now. They've been so patient with us. So thank you guys so much, you guys.
And you'll be able to see the Blakey Irish dancers at various performances all through the summer, right?
Right. We're at Folk Fest in Kelowna, and we're at the Penticton Highland Games.
That's right.
Yeah, the first for Prospera and the fourth in Penticton.
It's going to be great. All right.
Can't wait.
I'm going to just stand up here and try and learn some steps.
We're going to get off the stage.
We're going to get off the stage.
guys ready to really get into the Celtic spirit? You're really to get ready to kick up your heels
Get up and dance.
Get up and dance, because we have the absolutely incredible Cod Gone Wild here, direct from the Okanagan, and they're going to play for you. It's absolutely amazing.
We're going to start things off with a little tune called the Raggle Taggle Gypsy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2.
There were 3 old gypsies came to our hall door. They came brave and boldly-o, and one sang high, the other sang low, and the lady sang the Raggle-Taggle Gypsy-o.
It was upstairs and downstairs the lady went, put on her suit of leather, oh. It was a cry from around the door, she's away with the Raggle-Taggle Gypsy-o.
And it was late that night when the Lord came in, inquiring for his lady-o. The serving girl, she replied to the Lord, she's away with the Raggle-Taggle Gypsy-o. Hold and saddle for me, my milk-white steed, my big horse and not speedy-o. Well, tonight I ride to the wide open field. Well, it's there that I'll be spying on me lady-o.
Now he rode east and he rode west, he rode north and south also, until he came to a wide open plain. It was there that he spied his lady-o.
And how could you leave your goose feather bed, your blanket strewn so comely-o? And how could you leave your newly wedded lord, all for a Raggle-Taggle Gypsy-o? What care I for me goose feather bed, with blankets strewn so comely-o? Tonight I lie in a wide open field, in the arms of a Raggle-Taggle Gypsy-o.
How could you leave your house and your land? How could you leave your money, oh? How could you leave your only wedded lord, all for the Raggle-Taggle Gypsy-o?
What care I for me house and me land? What care I for me money-o? I'd rather have a kiss than a yellow gypsy's lips. I'm away with the Raggle-Taggle Gypsy-o. Yep.
Thank you very much. We're going to do an original tune for you, and this one goes out to all our parents and great-grandparents, everybody that worked so hard to get us where we are today. A tune I wrote for our last album, Battered and Fried, called Never Know.
Sailing through the Narrows on a summer afternoon, seagulls flying close behind, houses on the Battery with colors so bright, such a beautiful sight. Oh, the times today are different, no time to reflect. We're caught up in the hustle and the grind. We've traded in the jiggers and the boats that were so grand for oil rigs and tankers to gain the upper hand. So raise your glass and toast the folks that worked so hard before us, and don't forget the times that were so great. Oh, be humble and remember the struggles of the past. You never know how long this will last. Oh, you never know how long this will last. Oh, the times have changed, a different feeling in the air. As one thing will always stay the same. Pride and happiness passed down throughout the ages can't be taken away in place of higher wages. So raise your glass and toast the folks that worked so hard before us, and don't forget the times that weren't so great. Oh, be humble and remember the struggles of the past. You never know how long this will last. Oh, you never know how long this will last. As time goes on, there will be other struggles. Deciding how to cope will be the key. And looking back in time may hold all the answers. I'm not sure what they will be. So raise your glass and toast the folks that worked so hard before us, and don't forget the times that were so great. Oh, be humble and remember the struggles of the past. You never know how long this will last. Oh, you never know how long this will last. So raise your glass and toast the folks that worked so hard before us, and don't forget the times that weren't so great. Oh, be humble and remember the struggles of the past. You never know how long this will last. Oh, you never know how long this will last.
Well, you guys, that was amazing. I'm sorry about the heat. I obviously don't control it, but
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did. I'm out for you. Yeah, thank you guys. Seriously, you guys are amazing. Why are you so good? Tell me.
Well, my mom and dad, they conceived me in India.
In India?
Yeah.
Is that the secret to success?
Yeah, it totally is.
So you guys come from like a pretty wide range for a Celtic band.
Yeah.
Like you're the only one with like an authentic accent.
I'm the only one from Newfoundland. The rest are Westerners, we'll call them.
So how did you all come together?
I moved out actually on Canada Day 6 years ago. I moved out from Newfoundland and started looking for musicians when I got here, and found Rhino. Actually, he was from Edmonton, moved here, and he became the drummer. And Roy and Angelique came a couple years after, and here we are.
How'd you find them? Craigslist?
Online dating.
Online dating profile.
Plenty of fish.
That goes with the cod.
You know, it's a small musical community around the Okanagan with brilliant musicians that fill it, and you know, through some networking, Angelique actually was in India and she moved back to the Okanagan, and we snapped her up as soon as she got back. So we were fortunate to get her on board.
It's really cool that you've got like such a range of instruments that everybody plays and all that. How important is that to the success of your sound?
I think it's really important. You know, part of the show is switching up the instrumentations, and really, for the audience perspective, seeing all the different instruments that we play and switching it up in between songs just gives them something fresh to listen to, rather than the same instrumentation throughout the whole set.
And I think it's really cool. Like you write some of the songs as well.
Yeah. Well, I had to because when I get old, I want some royalties, right? So.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Of course. And
usually the drummer gets the shaft. That's not going to happen in this case. So yeah, writing songs. We all like to write songs, and that's a big part of our sound too, as we're starting to develop the band a bit further.
What I like between your guys' songs too, you guys, the stories and stuff, and the way you interact with the audience and stuff. And anytime I see you guys are anywhere, everyone's dancing and up, and you guys get everybody involved because of all the amazing sounds.
Yep.
You've got some. You're telling me you've got some pretty cool gigs coming up. Of course, you're playing tonight in West Kelowna, and you're at Canada Day, but you've got a road trip. Well, an air trip coming up.
Yes, that's right. Tomorrow, actually, Sunday, we're leaving to go to Ecuador.
Ecuador.
Yeah, we've got invited down there by the ambassador of Ecuador. She's actually originally
invited by the ambassador. Sorry, I had to cut you off there. No big deal. He says so nonchalant. We got invited by the ambassador.
She's the ambassador to Ecuador from Canada, and she's actually originally from Halifax, and she has fond memories of hearing Celtic bands in Halifax, and she really wanted to have a Celtic band down there to represent Canada for Canada Day.
And this is the Canada Day, Cod Gone Wild Canada Day South America
Canada.
T-shirt.
So how did you get involved in the band?
Through a mutual friend. She was in the band before me, and then she called me and said, "Stand here." So I did, and then they said, "What are you doing here?" So just
Playing
went from
bass.
there.
Now, I don't know if I should bring this up or not, but there's sort of sad news in a way.
We do have a little sad news, yes. Angeli, after being in the band for almost 4 years, is going to be moving on after the summer.
What?
How dare you?
She can't leave. What?
I know.
How
What are we
dare
going
you?
to do? It's
what?
The cod's out of the bag.
So you will be looking for a replacement, as if anyone could, but
we'll be looking for at least one, probably two people actually to fill Angeli's shoes. That's how good she is.
Because I'm very large. That's very rude.
All right, so I guess they check out your website. They can find out more information and get a hold of you guys and line up some auditions.
That's right, and it's you can reach me through the website codgonewild.com.
And I hope we didn't scare you too much because of the heat. This is abnormal temperatures. It's usually a lot cooler here. So I really hope that before you quit the band, that you guys can come back.
Yes, that would be amazing.
And you guys the whole show can just be you guys because you guys are amazing.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan? Awesome. Well, good luck today at the West Side Days.
Thank you very much.
And at the...
Ambassador's residence in
With the
Ecuador.
ambassador.
Yeah, no big deal.
Way to represent Canada. Thanks so much, you guys.
Thank you very much.